Great response from Everton after the midweek loss at Turf Moor. 3 of the 5 wins at Goodison under Frank Lampard, and he wanted commitment, obviously. He wanted a response, and he got it. We'll show you these stats here about how much further Everton players covered ground-wise than Manchester United players.
You know what?
I mean, do you look at that and go, you can show me any stat you want, it doesn't really matter? Or is that a significant set of stats?
I would say it's significant because it just means that they are running around and covering more ground, which we shouldn't have to show a stat like this. Regardless of if you're playing against Man United or your situation, your stats should be up there anyway. They've been forced into this situation, Everton players, where they have to do something to get themselves out of the mess. They deserve to win the game. They were better than Man United. I just don't get the way Man United play. I didn't see any individuals that excited me. I thought Gordon was brilliant. For a young boy to take charge of a game like that, absolutely outstanding. Gets his goal as well. And it was great to see Goodison rocking. Noise, an old stadium, great place to play, Jamie. Not as a Liverpool player, I wouldn't imagine.
No.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. If I can just quickly go back to what Pooh said, because interestingly, Michael Edwards, who obviously doing some good things at Liverpool, he was our analyst at Portsmouth. And there was a distinct positive correlation between the amount of output we did and the results. And there's a threshold that after we'd done so much work running whatever it is, we never lost games. So I would argue that still applies.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I'd argue that still applies, and what you've seen there. It'd be interesting to see what the stats are compared to other Everton games and the results that Everton have got in that. But there is that bit, you should run around, but you could run around in the wrong place, of course. But generally, if you're covering a lot of ground, more than the opposition, then it means you're doing better things than the opposition, and you end up with a...
Well, and you give yourselves more chance of doing a better thing where it matters, of course.
Yeah, I suppose when you think about it, what Jamo said, it's, obviously you've got to run and do the right things while you're running about and make sure it's positive energy that you're using. But when you have the ball, you're still exerting energy, and it's what you do with the ball as well that's so important. And Everton did better with the ball. And they put their bodies on the line.
You're saying for a young man and a club as famous as Everton to be in the predicament they're in, for him to turn in those stats.
Not surprised, though. Not surprised at all. He's been good all season.
So he's got the bottle. That's the point, isn't it? At this stage of the season, he's got the bottle.
Yeah, and again, it's so funny when you look at certain clubs and what the expectation, especially from fans, are. And I think with Everton, it is about working hard and putting the effort in. And Gordon, wow, he is one that I'm looking forward to next season already in the Premier League, because I think they'll start.
You said Alain and Delph was a smart move from Frank Lampard. Just give a bit of bite to midfield.
Just you know what happens when you're looking at the team sheet and you're in the dressing room and you look at the team sheet, who am I playing against today? It's just the mindset of, they like a tackle. They're not going to back away from anything. It's not just good footballers that look pretty. Those two players will, if they have to make a 50-50, they will. And it's the mindset of, I'm not too sure today. And I would imagine that the midfield of Manchester United may have taken half a step back thinking, Delph, if he's going to put his foot in, he'll put his foot in. I think it was a masterstroke. It was brilliant. Great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side is if they don't win the tackle you're expecting to, gives you the opportunity to get on top.
Absolutely.
A bit of a half-hearted appeal for a penalty from Manchester United, was it? You could see Ronaldo going, it hits his hand, which it does. I don't think anyone disputes that it flicks off the hand of Michael Keane. But what about the interpretation from the official's point of view?
What I always say with handball is now, is his arm clearly away from the body? Where would you expect him to put his arms in that situation? Never a penalty.
Never a penalty, says the Evertonian. I think that's fair enough. It's not a penalty, isn't it? His hands are down here.
It's quite close as well, isn't it? He's about a couple of yards away as well. To be fair.
I think they need to change the definition as well. Unnatural position. Well, it's actually not in the rules, is it? Unnatural position, but it gets mentioned. What can he do?
The accusation labelled at Manchester United is they're a collection of individuals who all happen to be wearing the same coloured shirt. Is that a fair reflection of the way you've seen Manchester United this season?
Yeah, frustratingly. We talk about rivalries. When I saw that Man United squad at the beginning of the season, I was thinking this is going to be a fight for the title potentially. Fantastic individual players, but the two managers that have been in charge just haven't been able to get them to play together. And it frustrates me because you want Manchester United to be challenging for titles. They're a massive club with fantastic players.
23 points. It's incredible. They're 23 points away from City. that's just a gulf. And I think City and Liverpool have. I think what JMO said about the players that Man United have. If you could just put players on a piece of paper, you go. You tell you what, you know, they will be up there. If all those players perform and they perform as a team, they'll be up there. City and Liverpool have gone to the next level where they've gone, right, what do I need for that position? I need a round peg in a round hole. Not just a great player and not a great name on a piece of paper. How's he going to fit into my plans? And I think City and Liverpool have done it so well.
There is one other thing we've can't miss, is Jordan Pickford played very well in that game. And without him, potentially Manchester United go on and win the game, we have a completely different conversation.
Yeah. How are you feeling as an Evertonian after that win come the rest of the season?
Well, it's been a rollercoaster week for the Blues, hasn't it? I mean, on Wednesday night they were winning at Burnley 2-1, then they lost the game 3-2, and everybody was flat and demoralised, really, and fearing the worst. Obviously, the next game's at 12:30 on Saturday against Man United, and they win 1-0. I mean, fantastic result. As you say, we've all been to Goodison Park. You guys have played there. It was rocking, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it really is. It's one of the last great grounds. So this is the run-in for Everton. So you can see Leicester at home. Then they've got the derby at Anfield. They won at Anfield the season before last. Chelsea at home. So they've got 2 with Leicester. Watford, Brentford, Palace, and they finish off at Arsenal. Well, I think if you're an Everton fan, you've got enough in there. Don't you think? You've got enough in there if you're Everton. Even if you're talking 17th, you've got enough in there.
There should be enough games for Everton to win there
Yeah.
or to get the amount of draws that they need.
Yeah.
Leicester's got to be difficult, I feel. Liverpool, the derby, Chelsea, you've got Leicester twice, haven't they? But Watford, they should really get...
There's enough in there, is there not? Just
They
to get
should
17th,
be.
and then we will never talk about this season again.
Yeah,
It's one of those.
I mean, well, if you look at Brentford and Crystal Palace at the moment, you'd be thinking, hang on a minute, that's going to be a tough game. But it's that point in the season. I mean, Crystal Palace could be going to a cup final.
Yeah.
And therefore, their focus will be somewhere else, and Everton can take advantage of that.
Yeah,
That's what we hope for a couple of times.